Hello guys, Vengeancer here. So I've been hanging out over here for a second. I don't think there's anybody in this spot over here at Ronaros. Tent buff. Turn on blue. Hit this, hit this. Okay, that should put me 216. It's good enough. So I had a couple of complaints. Mostly just one complaint about not fully potting up, even though I'm over here in the little 240 AP spot. Not grinding, min-maxing efficiency. So I got a few buffs here today. We're gonna grind Ronaros for an hour, and I'm not gonna have time to edit this, so we're just gonna do an old long style grinding video and see how it goes. But yeah, I got a few buffs. I think these ought to help. This looks like it's got some movement speed, even though, you know, movement speed's maxed out. But it's got some movement speed, it's got some weight limit. I think it'll be good. Same with this one. It's got some movement speed, weight limit. What about this? Oh yeah, there's some more movement speed and weight limit. That should be good. Yeah, 31. I can see how this this might be beneficial. We got quite a bit of extra weight out of it. Oh, forgot. Got to turn these up. Better feed the minions. Okay. Let's do an hour. And if somebody ends up being here, since I'm just starting, I'll have to swap. I don't want to take a spot from somebody, but I haven't seen anybody be around here grinding. In the few minutes that I've been sitting around just kind of scoping the spot out. I always run to my spot that I like to farm, and then I'll sit and just kind of wait a few minutes to see if anybody else is in the rotation or the area before I start potting up and busting out buffs and trying to grind. Like I said, I try to be courteous if someone's there first. I don't enjoy the whole duel for spot crap, so I just try to make sure nobody's there before I take it over. And like I said, if somebody shows up and I've been here only a couple minutes, then I'll just swap over and find a different realm to hunt on. But we'll see how it does. I don't seem to be killing any faster with meals and stuff on than I did before. Just like I said, I think I may be capped out or something. But we're pushing for potion pieces, pity pieces, whatever I can get my hands on. I haven't had good luck the last few hours that I've been here. On and off, so maybe that'll turn around. Serenity 2 has not been nice to me recently with enhancing or with drop farming, so I don't know how it's gonna go, but we'll figure it out. Kill these, try to get through this rotation as fast as I can, take advantage of that movement speed that are on those extra pots that I got running today. Doesn't seem to be any faster. I don't. Maybe I did it wrong. Okay. In all seriousness, now that I've sufficiently pissed enough people off or triggered them. Yes, I know I use life skill buffs and pots and drafts and draughts and cron meals. Yes, I know I use the wrong ones, but I've been seeing a comment from a certain user that pretty much every video telling me that I'm not being efficient enough, that I should be using cron meals. So to that I say, it's not about min-maxing, it's not about audience retention, and it's not about the money. It's about sending a message that, yes, I'm a veteran player. I have 1,051 days, almost 1,052 days. And no, I don't use cron meals, and I don't use draughts on these low-end spots or every time I go to life skill or gather, especially if it's a spot where I'm not trying to min-max and get the most out of, and I'm just looking for a chill thing to just kind of hang out for a bit. It might not be the most efficient thing, but you know, you don't always have to min-max. And in my defense, 25 mastery is not going to change much whenever I'm in the middle of a bracket. I'm at 1655 fully potted, which would kick me up to about 1675, 1680, somewhere around there in terms of life skilling. And here in the Ronaros forest, an exquisite cron meal is not going to, it's not going to make me kill faster. The movement speed, I'm already maxed on. You can't go past 5 bars on the movement speed, so even if you put another meal on that has +2 or 3 or whatever, it's not going to do anything. So it's just wasting cron meals in these low spots at that point. It's just a complete waste. I would rather save them for whenever I'm grinding orcs and not hitting the wrong key. But yes, I 100% know how to use cron meals. I know how to use draughts. I do pot up whenever I'm grinding somewhere important. Now that being said, when I go to start hunting the potion piece in Navarre Steppe, the hunting, I may end up busting cron meals just for the fact that I'm going to be probably wearing my combat gear, and my gathering's not going to be very high, so it's going to take forever to gather. If it's not maxed out, then yes, I'll be eating more simple cron meals to get the gathering out of it. But as far as on a day-to-day basis, no, I don't use cron meals every time I go to gather or grind. It just depends on what I'm doing. And I haven't done a serious like for-profit gathering video for a very long time, or even grinding. I've just been grinding these low-level spots, so you know, yeah, you probably haven't seen me use cron meals anytime recently. But that is a-okay. I know what I'm doing. If I want to min-max, I do have all the stuff to do that, and I will do that as soon as I am out of getting this pain in the butt potion piece done. Now, my little rant over, and my trolling bit over. We're at 216 drop rate, which would be 286 if the drop event was going on, but they turned it off. It'll be back next weekend, and I want to try and find some time to grind this coming weekend. I know it's early in the week, but I want to take advantage of the 70% when I can and try and finish this up. I'm waiting on the daily to reset. I did it last night, so right after reset, so I'm gonna have to wait until either tonight or tomorrow to push for more dailies on Ronaros here for the Peridot leaves, or if in case you don't want, Peridot is how it's spelled, but it's Peridot. And unfortunately, I would cut most of this boring grinding content up and just kind of smash it together like I normally would, with a little bit of chill lo-fi in the background, and only leave the exciting parts in. But I'm not gonna have time to edit this before tomorrow. I have business I have to attend to tomorrow as well as this afternoon, so enjoy the long hour-long grind, and maybe by the end of it we'll just get lucky and I'll get the ancient piece. But the way my grinding luck is going, I'm not going to hold my breath. Hell, chances are I may not even get a pity piece this hour. That's how it's been going recently. Should have restarted my PC to kind of break that connection between the servers and ISP and BDO servers. We should probably hit these guys before I move along. All in all, this grind is... I'm becoming more used to it in this spot just because I know the rotation that I use so much now, but it doesn't make it any less mundane. It's just awful. That is not the skill that I wanted to use, but alright. Just because you're a guardian, we'll turn around and get you. I'll tell you though, I do get a ton of pure force breaths. Ton of them. Over here. Kafirs aren't bad either. Averaging like 30 plus 30 or 40 dust an hour. So that's decent. I mean, it's not fantastic by any means, but 30 is better than 0, so I will not complain at all because I need a lot of Kafirs. I'm to that point in the game where Kafirs are life. That's pretty much where everything is going. I will say though, I don't like the let me turn this on. I don't like the mechanic of the darkness in here, because it makes it difficult to see where I'm trying to get to. Come on, crossy fingers and toes for the ancient and the pity as well. So to go over where I'm currently at, in between moving around spots, we are at 77 pities and 211 on the peridot leaves. The peridot leaves, we need 300 of those to kind of finish that off. So here in a few days I'll have that done, and hopefully by the time I get that done I'll have the pities done as well. There's a forest fury, but those are not what I'm looking for. Spend time killing those guardians and stuff just because they have the chance to drop the actual full ancient piece. The scouts don't, from what I read. So you can get the pity pieces from the scouts, but the guardians and the other things, what are those? The catchers, I believe, are the ones that drop the ancient. And they're the ones that have been mean to me and not dropped anything. But I will tell you, I don't know if something changed or I'm just unlucky now. The mana seems to be more of a problem with the wizard. Maybe I'm just... I don't know. Maybe they changed something, maybe they didn't. I didn't see anything in patch notes, but... it sure does seem like I'm running out of mana a whole lot faster than I used to. Put my mana regen buff back on. That'll help a bit. The other thing I want to touch on is I've pretty much been just grinding without Agris because I'm out of Agris. Like I've dumped all my Agris and I have been on reset grinding. I've already burned through half the 20,000 that we got. So money over here is not great. Just because once Agris is gone, you don't get much in terms of trash loot. I think overall I'm clearing like over the course of an hour somewhere around 10,000, and that's without Agris. So it's like that's half of what you should be getting. But I'm not gonna run Agris coins over here or gold loot scroll anymore. Especially since I'm so close to finishing up and I don't need the silver. It's not like I'm silver desperate, so I am pity piece desperate. And before I used to think, oh, I'll get a couple an hour. That'll be a good hour. And then over the weekend, I got 6 an hour, 7 an hour. And it's like now I'm just frustrated with the fact I'm not even getting 1 an hour. There's a Kefris. I don't know many people that'll be excited about getting a Kefris stone, but every time a Kefris stone pops up on my screen, I say, that's 3 million silver I don't have to spend or grind. And I might think, oh, that's not very much, but when you're getting 30 and 40 an hour, or even more at the higher end spots, you know, several hundred an hour, that's anywhere from 90 million silver on up, and then, you know, 1,000 Kefir stones that I need to finish out getting C9 on my shirt. That's 3 billion silver, and a lot of time of pre-ordering, you know, so it stacks up. Oh, that was awful. Awful, awful, awful. Goodbye. Well, there's nothing dropping. It's going to be another one of those days or weeks. It's because I've set myself a goal of finishing this potion out. And so now I'm not even going to get pity pieces. It's going to take me another 100 hours to get 20 of them. I think the longest dry spell I've had is 4 hours without a single pity piece. And I get that, like, 200% drop rate or 216, whatever, it's not super high, but it should be high enough to at least get 1 or 2 pity pieces here or there, you know. Let's just put it this way. Over the weekend, I was grinding with full drop rate, and I was with the drop rate buff or the event of 70% plus pretty well full potions. I was drop hunting at 286%, and I wasn't there was an hour I didn't get a single one, and then there were hours where I got 6. So the RNG is just, it's whacked. Very whacked out. Blizzard these guys. Yay, Guardian Spirit Stones that I don't need. You know what I use those for? Grinding up to fuel my other ones. Tell you what, thinking about everything that's going on, I've never been one that's too, like, terribly, like, opposed to wintertime, right? But the weather has been so up and down, back and forth, and just awful this year. It's made me really, really miss spring. Just thinking about, usually, you know, my favorite time of year is just kind of the Christmas time, holidays. I don't mind the cold. I like all the Christmas movies and that kind of stuff, but man, I'm ready for spring this year. I've got myself turned around. I should be over here. But yeah, I'm ready for spring, and I'm not one of those people that does a whole lot with like the New Year's resolutions and stuff, but I've been thinking about it. I really want to get myself back into shape and get a lot of other things done. It's been long enough. We kind of got thrown off whenever we had issues with where we were living and stuff because of our house burning, you know. But it's been long enough now, and we are settled enough now where we currently are that there's no reason why I can't go back to all the things that I like to do. You know, I had a bunch of tragedies I had to deal with, and just one thing after another, and I was too busy. But now there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to go to the gym every day, or get back on track as far as being healthy. It's one thing whenever you kind of have an excuse and you're like, oh well, I don't have, we're swamped, we're overwhelmed, I don't have time to cook the healthier meals that take a little bit longer. So you know, you end up buying convenience things, and then it just, yeah, going down that road is just one thing after another. But now I really have no excuse, so I want to get back on the health grind. Outside of game, I used to work out twice a day. Yeah, I used to work out twice a day, 5 to 6 days a week, and then I went from that to not working out at all. It got really bad, but we're gonna remedy that. Because it's something that I want to do. So, oh yeah, go ahead, Succession Wizard. Use all the skills I don't want you to. But yeah, we're gonna remedy that. So, for real life goals, I know I've set goals for BDO this week, but for real life goals, I want to get back to focusing on health. I don't know how much of that I'll record or document, but for anybody that's curious, and I invite you to come along with me. Just do a just if you're not currently in the shape that you want to be in, start. All you gotta do is start. You know, excuses are always gonna be there. You're always gonna find them, but the thing is, do you have an excuse to do it? Do you have a reason to work on yourself? You know, that's the only thing you really want to invest in, is working on yourself, because there's a lot of stuff we spend a lot of useless time on, and I say this as I'm playing a video game, but in the grand scheme of things, yourself is the only thing, you and your family, that's what you want to invest in. And I've always been a believer of, if you don't have your health, you don't really have anything else, because the rest don't matter. If you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be around long enough to really enjoy or even utilize the rest of everything. So health has to come first. But in terms of myself, be a little selfish here, I am currently just to give you some stats of what I'm working with and where I'm starting out at. I'm around 6 foot, maybe just a little over, just a little under. It's been a while since I measured, and I mean, I'm not like most people. Don't grow later in life, but I don't want to like give a I'm definite this and then be wrong. So like I said, I'm around 6 foot. And as far as weight goes, I'm around 240. It's been a little bit since I've self-weighed. Granted, I'm a little more muscular than most people because I've spent a lot of time weightlifting in my life. However, that goes away quickly when you quit lifting, and it's been a long time since I've lifted. So I have more fat than I really would like. So that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to go back to eating what I should be instead of eating processed stuff, which not necessarily is all bad, but it's definitely not as good for you as fresh produce, fresh fruit, meats, that kind of stuff, you know. And me, I have to be careful because I am pretty well, I have food allergies pretty bad. Gotta be careful of the dairy, and then I really have to be careful of the wheat products. I'm pretty sure I have undiagnosed celiacs, but you'd have to go to the doctor for that, and I don't like being poked and prodded on, so I'll just avoid bread. How about that? And wheat. So I'm remedying those things in my diet and getting back to doing what I need to. And then we're going to start working out again. My old regiment, for anyone that's curious, I don't do cardio. It doesn't work for me. I do, well, I say that. I do a different form of cardio, let's put it that way. HIIT, high intensity interval training, is how it's what I utilize for cardio. It works a lot better for me than just traditional walking or running on treadmills or whatever you want to call it. Now, that being said, some activity is better than none, so take it for what you will. But 30 minutes and no potion piece. This is nutso. I guess this is how the RNG is going to be this week. We may not get the potion pieces done. Because I just don't have the time to put in 40 hours to get, you know, if I have to put in 4 and 5 hours for one potion piece, pity piece, it's just not going to happen. I don't have enough hours in the week to do that this week. So we'll see what happens, so I plan on doing more HIIT training, going back to doing that. 15, let's see, I have a regiment that I like to do. It's 6-minute rotations, so you do a couple of those, and it takes you about 12 minutes, but it feels like you've ran on the treadmill for about 40. You get out of breath really easy. Of course, as you get in better shape, it gets better, but it still works you very, very hard. So I like doing the HIIT training. Example of HIIT training. So 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest in 3 rotations. So 30 on, 10 off, 30 on, 10 off, 30 on, 10 off. And that's a 2-minute. Where are you at, Great Robert? That's a 2-minute total rotation for it. No potion piece out of the Great Robber, of course. I was banking on that guy giving me a potion piece, but he didn't do it. So you got 2 minutes, and you do that 3 times. That's a 6-minute rotation. If you can get through that twice, you're doing pretty good, or you're in better shape. Then then you need to adjust, and to make it a little more difficult or a little bit more work, so you get the benefits out of it. But usually do a couple of rotations of that, so it's 12 minutes. Do that in the morning. And you always want to work out fasted. I don't recommend that for people that have blood sugar issues, but for any normal healthy person, if you're looking to, hey, a ring, but still no bitty piece. If you're looking to cut fat and you are like me and have gained more than you want, work out fasted. After you haven't eaten all night before you eat breakfast, or whatever your eating schedule may be, which goes hand in hand with intermittent fasting, which is what I usually do. I either wait until after lunch to eat my first meal of the day, or I just don't eat all day and then have one big meal at the end of the day. But either way, intermittent fasting works very well. And when you couple that with HIIT training in the morning, when you're fasted, you are burning fat over just burning energy off that you have consumed right before. That's why I don't like pre-workouts. Now, if you're drinking pure black coffee, that doesn't break your fast. That works as a pre-workout. But if you're consuming a bunch of like sugared up stuff, which is most pre-workouts have a lot of that in it, if you're doing that, then you're just burning that sugar off. You're not actually burning fat off your body. So there is that. And yes, it's always going to be calories in versus calories out on the simple, most basic level, but there's more to it than that. There's a potion piece. So at least we didn't get skunked this hour. Now, back to what I was saying about real life stuff. Because every once in a while, real life stuff's important. But I usually like to utilize the HIIT on the fasted, and then after that, hit the weights at least once a day. Depending on how recovery is doing, if I'm dipping too low in calories for the day, then I'm not going to recover as well, and I'm going to feel awful and sluggish, and I'm not going to want to work out later in the day, so I'll try and do that early in the morning before, like, while I'm fasted as well, before the day goes on too long. Because if you run, where are you at, Fubaru? I know you're over here along this tree line. Oh, I did not hit that key. I hit down and F. I need a new keyboard. And of course, he didn't give me a pity piece as well. But anyway, I always try to get the workouts out of the way early on. That way, it's easier to get it on a fasted state, and you're running off of fat for fuel instead of food for fuel. And then you'll replenish some of that later. I'm not going to get into diets too much, but whatever fad diet works for you to kickstart. Keto works very well for a few weeks to get you kind of in the habit of counting calories. That's what I've used it for in the past, and as a kickstart to just burning in general. But if you want to sustain, keto is not sustainable long term. You're going to get cravings. Some people mentally are stronger than others, so yes, maybe some people can sustain keto long term. Me, I put up with so much chronic pain and stuff on a normal basis that my mental fortitude is stronger than most. But even I get tired of the constant hunger cravings and just being not satiated. Keto always leaves you feeling not satiated, and I feel like that I'm a lot thirstier whenever I'm on keto. And I did it for 6 months before I just quit. But it will kill your metabolism over time. So you kind of got to watch out for that as well. But what I recommend is, well, and I'm not a medical professional by any means, so don't take this as the end-all be-all. But from my own experience, counting calories and not depriving yourself of foods that you like and crave is the best route to go. Your body needs everything. Now, however, I want to preface that with processed foods are what's killing most of the population out here. Food companies are not your friend. They're there to make a profit, and they very much want to manipulate everything that you do, see, and hear to funnel you into going and buying McDonald's, because it's one, quicker, faster, and sometimes, well, most of the time cheaper. That's why you can go and buy a whole box of freaking cupcakes at the store and it costs less than lean meat and vegetables most of the time. But, you know, it's doesn't mean that stuff's good for you. In moderation, it's not bad, but if you're trying to cut and you want to get in shape, you're just gonna have to have the mental fortitude not just don't eat it. And that's what I'm telling myself. You know, like you said, I don't eat a ton of snack cakes and stuff either. But when I get one of the migraines that I suffer from, my body craves the most poisonous crap that you would ever consume. I'm talking just atrocious things. You know, like a whole freaking pot of spaghetti, 13 large pizzas, and the body just wants huge amounts of carbs, and that'll make you gain weight if you do that all the time. Plus, for me, like I said, I'm pretty sure I got celiac, so that causes me other problems if I'm eating a ton of pastas and pizzas, because you get all kinds of... What is going on here? Just cast the skill. Good grief. But I get all kinds of other issues from doing that, so... Bottom line is, I'm cleaning up my life, and I welcome you to come along the journey with me. And if you're interested in seeing how I do that, in terms of regaining all my strength and my fitness, I'll be glad to document it. I just don't want to put it out there and then it annoy people. Because whenever you go down the fitness road, you pretty much have to change a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle change. It's not like, oh, I'm going on a diet. No, you have to change your whole life. Having one, you can't just be like, well, I switched from drinking soda to drinking water. I'm healthy now. And it doesn't work like that. Yes, that's a good thing to do, but that's only one piece of a puzzle. You can't just just call it done there. You know, you got to completely go with the whole lifestyle. You need to be working out, exercising, eating properly, making sure you get all your macros in, you know, that kind of stuff. So you just basically have to change your whole life. Let me use this buff so my mana is not going away so fast. That leads me to say that probably not a very good time for me to be trying to go on a fitness journey. Maybe yes and no, but over the weekend my oven blew up. So when we had the house fire almost exactly 2 years ago now, and we're finally getting recovered from it, we looked for this. We looked for a quick solution, and I've touched on this before. So we found somebody that I knew from the area down where we're at now, and they decided that they were selling off their single wide, and I was like, well, if we just buy that, it'll be scot free and clear, paid for, and we don't have to worry about mortgages and stuff like that until we get settled, and then we can figure it out from there. So that's what we decided to do. Well, it came with some appliances, a washer and dryer we used for a little while until we just couldn't deal with it anymore. The dryer was a short cycle dryer, so it would run for 30 minutes and it never would dry or close, so we were running it constantly. And the washer was okay though, but we just bought a new matching set and replaced that. And it also came, the single wide came with an oven, a range, a stove. And so we've been using that. I need to look another ring. We've been using that just fine, but over the weekend it finally decided to give out. We were using the oven to cook, and the wife went to take out what she was making and put in the rest of the stuff she was baking. And when she opened it, she started screaming that it was on fire. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? She was terrified she was going to burn the house down. But when ovens go, they have an element in them that heat up. At least the older ones do. And trust me, this one was an older one. But the element had burnt out. And usually they'll get like a hole in them. And when I say element, I mean like the older ovens at the bottom, they'll have a it's like a little metal pipe, and it gets like cherry red when it heats up, and that's how it creates its heat. Well, that's the element. And when those things finally get old enough, they only have so long of a lifespan, they will get a hole in them, and then they'll be hissing and flaming and bright red. They basically self-destruct. Anyway, ours burnt in half, and so it was flaming and stuff, so she turned it off real quick and slammed the door and was freaking out. I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. It'll put itself out. So, but long story short, we have to go get a new oven, so I'm going to deal with that this weekend. So we're limping along. Probably not the best time to start a new another ring. So I'm getting tons of rings, but I'm not getting any of the crap that I want. Give me the potion piece. But, so probably not the best time to do a fitness journey, but, you know, that'll be fine. I'm going to try and start off today. I'm going to eat a nice salad for lunch. I've always been this way. I don't like to eat a lot during the day, so for, like, midday, I'll have, like, when I was eating before I went bread free, I would eat like just a sandwich, you know, in the middle of the day. Something light, not a huge meal, just something to keep the hunger down. And then I would eat a bigger meal for dinner at the end of the day. Because with insomnia and stuff, I have a hard time sleeping if my stomach's empty. So, and a lot of people say, oh, that'll cause weight gain. I've never had a problem with that. Causing weight gain, it's always been other things, But so yeah, I'm probably gonna have a nice little light salad. I'm a big fan of cottage cheese, even though dairy is kind of iffy. Cottage cheese is very good for you if you're lifting, if you can stand it. Very good source of protein and other things. Put a little salt and pepper on it, pretty good. So that and a nice spinach salad. Sounds like a good lunch, so I'm going to try and start going back to that. And then if I'm still hungry, I'll usually reach for like a protein shake or something like that. I'm not a huge fan of dairy-free protein, but I cannot have the dairy, so we'll do something like pea protein that's made out of like snap peas. I can't do soy at all. I refuse. So I'll go with the pea protein, and that's usually sufficient enough. It's not great, but it'll do. I usually dump like get it in the blender. This is an old trick that my dad, when he was lifting all the time, would use. You put oats in it, uncooked. We'll use the Minute Maid, like Quaker Minute oats. Dump some of that in there for extra protein and carbs, and put your powder in there. Get a little water, almond milk if you want it, I guess. Always put a banana in for potassium. A little bit of extra sugar to make it taste better. And then, of course, if you're lifting all the time, got to have the creatine. That's the only supplement that I will stand by. Creatine is powerful stuff if you know how to use it. But if you're taking creatine, got to get that gallon a day in. You don't want your kidneys or liver failing because you're guzzling down creatine and not drinking water. But that's my little rant on being healthy and getting strength gains. Said I got a lot of experience doing it. I've just been very inconsistent recently, so I'm getting pretty out of shape. Got to address it before it gets to a point of no return. I'm not getting any younger. Of course, I got a nice little confidence boost, but it doesn't mean much coming from somebody that's older than me. They thought, oh, you don't look your age. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you think, lady. I'm 33 and I'm pigment challenged in my hair. Everything's turning gray. I shouldn't be turning gray at 33. Well, what's left of the hair, right? A lot of men are hair challenged on top of their head like I am. That's why I shaved my head. I'm not doing the comb over thing, sorry. Luckily, the wife likes the shaved head, so, you know, I got lucky. But definitely where the beard is concerned, it's becoming salt pepper status very, very early. I mean, at early 30s, you should not be seeing pigment loss like that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll blame the wife. She just stresses me out. That's what it is. And I did get in trouble for calling her a little rager. She yelled the other day. She's like, "You called me a rager?" And yeah, I'm telling on her. I'll probably get in trouble again. I find it funny. Oh. 14 minutes left and we're not getting anything. I hope somebody's found my rambling entertaining. And my cron meal trolling. Life skill. Put the seafood on for the grinding. That always works. No hard feelings summertime, but which is the user that they kept suggesting it. I did see your comments and I do take them into account. I just have to give you a little bit of a hard time in return. That was funny. Oh. Come on, give me another potion piece. I don't want to grind 20 hours for the rest of this. I would love to be able to get this done in 2 or 3 and move on to some other things. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'll tell you what my luck will be is it'll make me grind all these hours and give me like one every few hours or one every other hour. And then when it gets to like 90, like the last few that I need, like 93, 94, because I plan on grinding up to 95 and then just doing the daily to finish it out. And what'll happen is when I'm doing that daily or that weekly, sorry, not daily, weekly, to finish out the last 5 pieces I need, then the ancient one will drop. Hey, look, another one. But the ancient one will drop. That's what's gonna happen. I guarantee it. Speaking too much, needed a drink of water. But yeah, there's a good chance that I'll grind like with how my luck goes on drops. I'll grind all of these out, and then the very, very end, when I would have been done anyway, it'll drop the ancient piece that it could have just dropped from the beginning. But I'm not mad because I've gained quite a bit of silver off this just as a byproduct. Same with Kafirs. But I do get frustrated, just like anyone else. Like yesterday, I was grinding and I didn't get any the last hour that I did, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not playing BDO anymore today. I just kind of walked away, just left it fishing. Sometimes you need a break, even if it's for a few hours. But it was too dang cold to be outside to do anything, so I just didn't really have much else to do. Even though I have a lot that I need to do. Just, yeah. Ooh, double Kafirs drop. Like hitting the lottery. I miss those days when I used to sell all my Kafirs. I bet if I had all those back, I wouldn't have a problem completing. Hey, look, another one. I wouldn't have a problem completing all of my gear up to C10. I used to sell so many Kafirs just to make ends meet when I was pushing for life skill gear before I started doing content creation. Man, we're on the Kafirs grind right now. We're getting one every other kill. Group up, little guys. A little crazy with my camera here. Another ring? What the hell is going on? I mean, granted, those rings don't really bring much, but I mean, 10 million silver is more than 0 million silver. Goodbye to the monsters. Yeah, I told my guild that I was just threatening the tree tars, and it was like, you know, the genocide will stop. I don't know if that's a banned word on YouTube or not, but I said it anyway. Oops. Oopsie. Tee. So I told my guild that I told the tree tars, which are these forest Ronaros monsters. I call them tree tars because they're centaurs in the forest. But that I threaten them. It's like I'm gonna keep cutting off your feet, your hooves, which is the hooves are the trash loot. And I keep telling them I'm gonna keep cutting off your feet. Just give me your ancient relic and it'll stop. It hasn't worked up till this point. I don't think they negotiate with people that are after their relics. I was gonna say they don't negotiate with the T word, but I'm pretty sure that's probably a banned word too, and I don't want to get demonetized before I'm monetized. I don't know what happens if you get... Maybe I'll just get restricted or something, I don't know. But I don't want that to happen. I like my channel the way that it is. It's pretty bad. You have to watch what you say. You don't even have, people can't take jokes anymore. That seemed to change. You know, it didn't used to be that bad, but it seemed like all the craziness and like just the seriousness. No one jokes anymore. It seemed to like start in 2020 when the you know, the pandemic happened. Probably another word that I shouldn't utter, but when all that stuff started, that's when people got so serious. You know, oh, can't joke about anything, and it's just been deteriorating ever since then. Alright, we got 5 minutes left. I guess I can't call this a total loss because we've gotten a couple of pieces so far, which is more than I can say for hours before that, so I'm happy. You know, if I can put in enough hours to get... Realistically, I need 18 total, so that's... Getting a couple an hour, that's 9 hours, and we just put in an hour, so realistically... At 2 an hour, I got like 7, 8 more hours to go. And then Thursday, when it resets, I can do the weekly and get the last 5 pieces. And we'll be A-okay. Then we'll move on to better things. Or maybe not better, but just different. Something different. Change of scenery. Now, I can't complain because while the potion piece is something that is pretty much necessary for me to grind the later levels, or the later spots, I want that extra 300 health every few seconds ticking just to help me out with tanking while I work on my DP rating. And the money here isn't too bad. It's not great, but a couple 100 million every time I get a piece or two. It could be worse, but I don't know how the other spots, like the mana potion spots, are. Come on. There we go. I'll use you for a mana refill. The other spots, so like Tashira Ruins and Navarne Steppe, I don't know how the money is grinding there for those pieces to compare. I accidentally hit the wrong button. I have one of those 2014 MMO mouses from Razer, so I have like 1 through 0 underneath my, or 1 through 0, 1 through 12 underneath my thumb on the side of my mouse, so it helps with casting stuff. And sometimes I accidentally hit the 0 key just where my thumb falls. And Resurrection is on 0, so it ends up... I say 0, it's actually 10, but on the mouse. But, so then it locks me into that animation cast for a little bit. I really got that mouse whenever I was playing League of Legends all the time because it helped with the way the button was set up on there. It helped with a couple of the skills that you needed for that game. And the way I had the keybind set up, it just made things better. But it also helps with these... I mean, it's what it was designed for, was MMOs. It doesn't help as much in Black Desert as you would think because I still just have all my keys bound to the way they were default. I like that setup, WASD, with the, you know, the different combinations around, so I can use my left hand to cast. But on the numbers, you know, 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, 5, and 6, those are the only ones that I ever use, and unless I'm just in heavy combat, that doesn't really affect it. Like, the mouse doesn't really help that much being able to cast those. I mean, I'll cast... Number 5 is on the mouse is like right where my middle of my thumb falls, so it makes it easy to cast the red lighthouse when I need it, or just with a little bit of movement I can cast the movement skill or the mana skill, so that's usually the only thing I use it for. I need to move those around so I can cast my skill enhancements 1, 2, and 3 a little bit easier and just use those, because I could just do that a lot. It would give me another skill for rotation, but I don't really need it at Ronaros because I one-shot everything and my skills come up fast enough. Well, it looks like we're pretty well done for this hour today. I hope you enjoyed all my talks, and I hope you enjoyed my little bit of trolling there at the beginning. I know some people are going to be uptight about it and get upset, but, you know, whatever. Oh, I wasn't actually serious, and yes, I do know how to use... cron meals. I just choose not to most of the time, because I'm not min-maxing these lower spots. If I was min-maxing all my gathering and lowering spots, then yes, I would. But that's okay. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Got about a minute. I'm going to round back over here to the horse and wrap it up. And dump all this stuff in storage. I'm pretty surprised that we got that many rings this hour. It's pretty amazing. Another Kaffers, that's always good. And I'll hit this guy before we're done. Always like to hit those big areas of AoEs. Easy to clear and a good chance of getting items. I guess that's going to be it. So we'll look real quick at what we ended up with, and I'll run back to Heidel and call it a day. Turn that off. Here's where we're at. So 4 rings that hour. So that's a good 40 mil. 22 pure force breaths, 28 Caphras, 31 spirit dust, 11 and 16 on the armor and weapon stones, and then 2 pot pieces and a couple other things. So not bad at all. But that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed, and look forward to the videos that are coming up. So we're gonna make some progress, and I'll keep grinding throughout the week. And if anything happens, then I'll update you on it. But other than that, we're just gonna keep moving forward. So thanks for watching, and as always, until next time.